Okay, there we go. So yes, we are thrilled to have Mary Hyatt with us and thrilled to have all of you with us as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed these little extra sessions as much as we have. I've learned a ton and really just loved to get to have some different dimensions brought into our practice community. So I'm going to give you a little bit about Mary and we'll begin. So Mary Hyatt is a life coach and business mindset coach who specializes in helping high-achieving female entrepreneurs move from living a life of burnout to a life where they're connected to their emotions, their body, and their spirit. She helps bring her one-on-one and group coaching clients back to their enoughness, wholeness, and femininity. Mary's the host of the Living Fully Alive podcast that airs weekly, where she dives deeper into mindset and helps her listeners learn to embody a life fully lived. She's also a top earner with doTERRA essential oils, helping teach women how to support their bodies and emotions holistically. As a trained hypnotherapist and Kundalini yoga instructor, Mary brings a level of consciousness and soul-focused inner work to everything she does. You can find her at Instagram at Mary G. Hyatt or her website, maryhyatt.com. So, Yay. Wow. So good to have you here, Mary. So exciting. Let me let somebody else in.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, like that's quite the bio, right? Like I would think that you would have gray hair and be like 95.
Some days I feel like that. Gosh. Well, first of all, thank you, Leanne, for having me. And it's so fun to see all your faces. I feel like Zoom is like it's party central now. Every time I get
Whoops, hold on. You got...
There we go. Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. I was saying that with Zoom, it's like the party, that finally you see humans and get to interact. And this is like life for me right now. And so it's fun to see everybody's faces and also to be in a community of people who are conscious and who are doing this work of bringing in love and light at the highest vibration. I feel like this is so deeply what we need right now. And I feel like our self-care practices have gone to a whole new level. I feel like I need them more than ever. In fact, this morning I had to do a couple videos with different clients that I had. And so I was putting on makeup this morning and I was like, I never realized how much effort it takes to put on makeup and like get dressed. And I was like, I don't feel like I used to feel this way, but right now it's like everything is feeling extra exhausting. Leanne, do you mind if I share a little bit about my story and just...
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So yeah, it has been quite the journey. And let's see, about 8 years ago, I found myself kind of at one of those moments in life where you look at yourself in the mirror and you just simply don't recognize yourself or recognize your life. And that's where I found myself. I was about 6 years into a marriage that was pretty dysfunctional. And I had gained about 80 pounds. I was 240 pounds at my heaviest. And I was at this place where I saw my eyes. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and it wasn't me. It was like, what happened? Like the part of me that was passionate and purpose-driven and into serving people and loving people and helping people was nowhere on the radar. It was like I was in survival mode completely. I had shut down my emotions. I don't think I cried for probably 6 or 7 years, unless it was like through a movie. That was kind of like my cathartic way of letting my emotions come to the surface. I was taking a pill for everything, whether it was to sleep, whether it was I had endometriosis at the time, physical pain, nausea. And honestly, I think if I were to be really honest, like there was a definitely addictive component there going on of feeling like if I could just numb out, like even with Benadryl, even with whatever it was, to check out of life and just go numb. Like I feel like everything in my toolbox was a dysfunctional way to numb out with alcohol, to numb out with movies, just just gone. And it was like being sort of a zombie, like felt like the walking wounded, just walking around trying to cover up all of these wounds. And I did that through lots of layers of protective weight. And when I look back on that time, I do love that part of myself. I love that part of myself and that woman who was hurting really, really deeply and who was resourceful enough to find ways, whether it was through food or whatever, to manage what was going on. And yet having that moment of looking in the mirror and going, I'm in my late 20s. Like, this is not where I should be. I should be having all the energy in the world. And yet I didn't want to do anything. I was having panic attacks. I had insane anxiety and depression. And interestingly enough, I walked into, I had started a farmer's market in Nashville, and I started the Woodbine Farmer's Market however many years ago. And then I started interning at the West Nashville Farmer's Market, ended up starting and owned the 12 South Farmer's Market for a while. And that was sort of my beginning journey of like, how can I take care of myself? And I thought, well, I love food. I considered myself a foodie. Let me get the best food that I can possibly get straight from the source of these farmers. And at the Woodbine Farmers Market, I ended up wanting to find a bilingual yoga teacher to teach classes, because in Woodbine, and that's South Nashville, like Nolensville Road area, there was a huge Hispanic population, is a huge Hispanic population. So I wanted to have bilingual Spanish and English yoga. So I found this teacher online, and again, I'm 240 pounds, like not active, not moving my body, and really in a state of hating my body. Like, my body was my enemy. And so then she invites me to come to a yoga class. And I remember almost laughing at her, like, hello, this is not happening. And this was before the movement of like curvy yoga and all bodies are accepted. So this was still in the time when, like, unless you were ballerina size, it wasn't necessarily a friendly environment. And so thankfully I trusted this woman, and I just was instinctively drawn to her. And I thought, all right, I'm going to go. And so she invited me. I went, and 2 weeks later, I decided to do yoga teacher training. And I remember contacting the teachers, and I said, listen, like, I'm a plus size woman. I have no yoga experience, but there is something in my soul that is telling me that I need to do this course. And I wasn't sure that I would go on to necessarily even teach it, but I wanted to immerse myself in the knowledge of yoga, and honestly learning how to connect with myself and with my body and end the war that I was feeling with myself and with my body. And it really began this beautiful journey to accepting that version of myself and learning, like, I was like, if I can learn to love this version, this woman who is on medication, who's depressed, who's anxious, who is, a size 20, then no matter who I become after this, I know I can love. But I knew that before anything changed, I had to learn how to accept and love that person, the person I was in that moment. And it really took me down this beautiful and honestly hard journey. Y'all know, like, self-development work is no joke. It is oftentimes gets worse before it gets better. And yet there was this beauty. There was this beauty in this unbecoming, so that I could truly align with who I have always been, the essence of whom I am, and connect with this part of myself that was so loving and generous. And so now it's like, moving through that, I learned so many tools that I now can use, especially in times like right now when we are going through a collective trauma, a massive trauma across the globe. It's like, okay, let me pull out this tool. Okay, let me pull out this tool. Let me pull out this tool. And so I kind of wanted to talk about tonight meditation a little bit, and maybe from a little bit of a different angle, and then lead us all through a guided meditation and help your practice go a little bit deeper. And before I launch into that, Leanne, I'll just throw it back to you and just ask if you have any specific questions or if there's anything else you want me to cover before I hop into that.
So Mary, I love your story first off, but how did you, like, what was it that you said, inside this person is, because you're so purpose driven, which I love, and so crystal clear. Even reading your bio, I was like, well, of course she is this clear. I love it.
Yeah.
How did you get to that point of clarity from that, aha moment, looking in the mirror?
Oh, Leanne. I liken this to throwing up a bunch of noodles onto the wall and seeing what sticks. It's a lot of like experimentation, I feel like. And honestly, for me, it was listening to what I was drawn to. It was like giving myself permission to answer the call, even when it didn't make sense. It was like doing the next right thing. And I know people say that all the time. It's almost overused. And yet I think there's a reason that it is. Like, for example, doing the yoga teacher training, like in my mind, if I were to like, up here, 10,000 foot view, look down on the situation, it'd be like, this is ridiculous. It's like, you literally like should not be doing this. You have no experience. Your body is, again, I since went on to teach like yoga for every size and plus size yoga. So I have a very different opinion about who yoga is for now. I really do think it is for everybody. But at the time, it was like, you have no business in the body that I was living in to try to do yoga. I mean, it was just like, it didn't even compute. And yet it was like confirmation after confirmation of listening to that still small voice, the voice that says, yes, come closer. The still small voice that draws us in. And I feel like, oftentimes that voice can be very subtle. And I think that over the years, it's like learning to attune my ear to that and trust it. And that trust is the hardest part, I think, because oftentimes in our journey, and y'all know this because in each way we've been asked to do this, we're asked to do things that feel like it's not the right timing. Like, well, shouldn't I learn something first before I go out and do this? Or don't I need the credentials before I set foot out and do this? Or this, like for me in my marriage, I'm divorced and now in a very happy relationship. But in my divorce, it was that still small voice over and over again. And I'm looking at the external going, it's not that bad. He's not abusive. He's not an alcoholic. It's not that bad. And learning how to trust that gut, that intuition enough to honor where it was leading me. And sometimes you learn in hindsight and go, yep, should have listened to that, but I think the clarity comes from learning how to listen. And that for me happens inside meditation, happens inside the yoga practice where you can actually get quiet enough to hear it because it's hard to hear with all the noise that's going around.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let me ask you this. When you first started yoga, what year was that? I have a theory here.
Okay, let me think through this. I believe it was 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been doing yoga since 1994.
Wow.
Or I think, no, maybe a little bit. I think it was 94. But my point is that it seems like with the advent of social media coming onto the scene, particularly Instagram, people think that only certain sizes can do yoga or only certain ages. And this whole layer of judgment comes in by these images we see. Yeah. And so that was my curiosity because I think it's, we're told who we should be. And if it looks very different, then we immediately discount ourselves. But the people that I see on Instagram aren't the people that come to my studio. I don't look that way. I'm not that age. And, so I think it's just such an interesting thing to hear.
Well, and I think that this is one of the gifts of yoga that I think can be perverted in a way that robs us of this true gift is that yoga is a practice and it's different than exercise. And I think that oftentimes the way that it's portrayed is it's about becoming fit. It is about the exercise element. And obviously, y'all know, I mean, there is that component. You are moving your body, but it's different. I mean, it's a very somatic way of processing emotions. I think that the gift of yoga is that it's like you are able to inhabit and embody your physical body in a way that you don't through just regular exercise, like going to the gym and lifting weights or being on a treadmill. There is that meditative quality to it. There is the invitation to go inward. And I think when we portray it as just about the physical body or just about flexibility, for example, it robs us of the invitation to go inward. And I think that the way we're geared in our Western culture is we want results. We want to be able to show something for showing up. So whether that's we have sweat, and so we go, oh, it counts because I was sweaty. And if we don't sweat, like if you go to a restorative class, for example, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I know for me, I'm like, is this kind of a waste of my time? Like, it's sort of like adult napping, like, it's like, you're just laying there, it's not really, you're not sweating, you're not burning calories. And I think it's like we have to almost put it in a different category than result driven kind of work, where we're looking at going a certain distance, burning a certain amount of calories, making sure that we sweat, all these like unspoken rules we have around moving our body that make it worth it, that make it like mean something valuable to us, and recognizing that to me, the gift of yoga, and this is, I think any version of yoga has this, I think some maybe lead themselves more to this than others, but that there is this invitation for the great pause, to connect with our breath, to go, like I've been doing, I don't know if you guys have heard, there's this yoga, it's not even yoga, it's like a exercise yoga hybrid. It's called The Class. And it comes out of LA. And anyways, I enjoy a lot of different types of movement. And one of the things that I like about this way of teaching, that I think is the reason I like it, is because we find this in yoga, is that there are certain postures that bring up our SHIT, like that. I don't know if I can cuss on here. So, we got kids in the background, I'm sure. So it brings up our stuff, right? And it's like, I don't know if you've ever been in a posture, even sometimes from a child's pose, brings up so much angst and anger for me, especially right now. Like my yoga practice is a lot about moving through anger and grief. Like I am experiencing so much grief and so much anger. And these postures, when you're in them, it's like, I teach a lot about this mind-body connection and how our muscles store our emotions and our fascia. And so when we stretch, when we move these parts of our bodies, it's literally unlocking and unleashing these buried emotions, these stored emotions. And what's so beautiful about that is that it gives us a way to move through them and process through them. There is a guy that I follow who is in no way, shape, or form a yoga teacher. He's an ex-comedian turned author, and he writes about money. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with Kyle Cease. Have y'all heard of him? Raise a hand if you've heard of this guy. Leanne, you would love him. So he just wrote this book called The Illusion of Money. And in it, he talks about meditation. And I love this because he says, one of the reasons that people are afraid to meditate, and I would like interchange this with yoga, is that people are afraid that they are the poop. And I'll explain. So if you go to the bathroom and you go and you get rid of all of your waste, in meditation and in yoga, it's the same thing. It's like, we are getting rid of the toxicity, the emotional toxicity, the garbage inside of ourselves, the emotions and patterns and behaviors that no longer serve us. And a lot of that we bury, we stuff, we don't want to feel, that idea of having a difficult time digesting, feeling constipated in our emotions, feeling stuck in our lives. And he said, people are afraid that they're the poop, but in reality, you're the butt. And I love that. It's like, he uses his like, you know, comedic way of sharing that. It's like, you're the butt, not the poop, you know? And I love that because it's like, it's so true. The reason that we have this beautiful practice of meditation and yoga is so that we can expel and get rid of, so that we aren't like sitting in our own toxicity. It is a physical way to process through the emotions. So we get to feel that feeling. And this is like grotesque, but it's so freaking poignant. I have to use it. But it's like, you ever know when you have like a really great bathroom experience and you leave and you get up off the toilet and you're like, oh, it feels so good. Like I feel so much lighter. You know what I mean? Like, side note, I hate talking about bathroom things. So this is, I feel like a real like progressive, like, yay, good job, Mary. You're talking about things that are uncomfortable. But it's like, y'all know that feeling where it's like, oh, thank God. That's what meditation is. That's what yoga is. It gives us a way to go to the metaphysical toilet and to get rid of some of this stuff. And to me, that's the gift. It's not about perfecting and making sure we're hitting these results. It's about the experience. It's about the processing through, the releasing, the garbage waste, you know, getting it out experience. And I haven't found anything else that is cathartic when we allow it to be in the way that yoga and meditation are. I mean, it's just, there's nothing like it.
I completely agree. And it's funny is that I also use a poop analogy about it.
Yes.
That it's, you know, like you got to let go of stuff, because it's like, just as if you had an undigested emotion and you were holding on to it, it's the same as holding on to the toxicity of failing to have a bowel movement.
Yes.
It will re-poison your system from the inside out. So it is so important. And I agree. I think that it's, you know, yoga and meditation is more about, it's a cleansing of the mirror so that you get a more undistorted reality, right? So then you can truly see that true self.
Yeah. And you know what I like about it too, and I think this is encouraging, is that, you know, so often we're taught that we need to, and there's a place for this, and I even in some ways encourage this with my clients, but there's an over focus on looking at an emotion, and like in therapy, for example, you got to, you know, you go to your past and you look at your past and you go through reigniting all of the emotional experiences. You're feeling it again. You're analyzing it. You're putting it up to the magnifying glass. You're looking at it from every angle at exhaustion, right? And so it's like we're belaboring ourselves with our emotional process. And I think that there's a quicker way through it. And I think that's through the body. And this to me is like the missing component that people often don't teach about. And it's this somatic work. It is the moving of our emotions through our physical body. Because the truth is, we can only experience an emotion from like 20 seconds to about 90 seconds. That's the life, what do you call that? Like the lifespan of an emotion is 20 to 90 seconds. So just let that sink in for a second. For example, you can't feel panic. For example, like you think about a panic attack. I always tell my clients, when you're in a panic attack, you got about 15 minutes before your body can't process that anymore and something will have to shift. But with emotions like feeling fear, anxiety, depression, whatever, 20 to 90 seconds of the actual sensation of the emotion, okay? What makes it stick around longer is the meaning that we give it, is the mental rumination that we're playing it over and over and over again. It's a familiar experience. It's something that we get addicted to feeling, and then we feed it and we make it stay around longer. We start talking about it. We start gossiping about it. We get into this mental rumination with it, and it makes it last a lot longer. And to me, to get through, like if I get triggered and I'm feeling some anger, the quickest way that I know to get through anger is to shake it out of my body. Like physically, like shake it out, like get it out, stretch it out, get into a posture of meditation. Quickest way. If I ignore it, deny it, disassociate it from it, ruminate on it, it's going to hang around for a long time. So we have one of the most powerful tools that we can use to process emotions, and that is our practice. That is using our bodies. And right now, and I want to see from a show of hands, like, would y'all agree this is the craziest freaking time that we've ever been in? Like, y'all, what the heck is going on? I mean, it's just nutty, right? It's like I've been explaining to my clients that our nervous systems are running hot. Okay, it's like we have our foot on the gas pedal, and we are literally going all the way to red 24 hours a day. And that means, like, doesn't mean that you may even be experiencing that sensation like consciously, but what's running in the background, our nervous system, because collectively, if we think about our ability to absorb energy, the collective energy that is floating around in our atmosphere right now is draining our batteries. It's draining our electromagnetic field in a way that we've never experienced before, because it's collective. Like, sometimes we're around people and they drain us of energy, and sometimes we're around environments that drain our energy. But right now, collectively, we're getting that battery drain. It's like we're going down, and then our nervous system goes into fight, or freeze, total overdrive, survival mode. And that's when we become really reactive. We become exhausted. Like, if you're feeling more tired than normal, that's what's going on. You're running hot. And this is where what recharges the batteries, what allows us to process the grief, the anger, the fear, the anxiety, is bringing in the highest vibration of love and light that we can. Like, for me, and we'll do this tonight, we're going to do that. We are going to bring in an actual vibration, the vibration, energetic vibration, that will help to charge up those batteries. And to me, it's like meditation has oftentimes felt a little bit like a luxury, like, oh, if I've got time, I'll do it, or that feels nice, or that's what rich people do, you know, because they're just sitting around and whatever. And I'm like, y'all, this is a necessity right now. We have to be vigilant to pour back into ourselves, to give ourselves that light, to give ourselves that energy, so that we can function, just to kind of even get us at base level. It's like, you know, if we're at fifth gear, my hope is not that we're going to get all the way down to neutral, but maybe we can get down to third gear or second gear, so that we can function and operate and make some healthy decisions for ourselves. But that comes from kind of making a commitment to ourselves that what doesn't get cut is our self-care. What doesn't get put on the back burner is our meditation practice. What doesn't get crossed off as a line item is our yoga classes. You know, is moments like this that you guys are doing, like making space and time to get together and focus and be reminded, like, oh yeah, come back, like come back. That's a long tangent, but yeah.
But it's so true. I know, even for me, if I'm not practicing, like if I practice later in the day, like I got to practice before 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I got to do some pranayama first, and then I want to practice, because if I don't, come 2 o'clock, I'm feeling it. And I don't know if it's all the mirror neurons that everybody is just then matching, and collectively, like, who knows, but it is like, it's palpable.
Yeah, it is. And I think that, you know, in all of this, I was talking to my boyfriend last night, and we were both saying and sharing that we felt like the things that we know we need to do, we don't want to do. Anybody else feel that way? Like, I know I need to rest. I know I need to do yoga. I know I need to do meditation. And I'm glad to see you guys relate. And I said, it's because we're in survival mode. Like, we are literally so, and I mean, I'm functioning. I've got a business to run. I've got coaches, clients to coach. Like, I'm showing up and I'm doing things. But again, like you were saying, Leanne, the mirroring that's happening collectively, we're in a collective trauma. And it's very uncertain, and we don't know what's happening in a lot of respects. And so all of our lovely ways of seeking control are coming out. And oftentimes, again, the things that we need the most, it feels like we don't have energy to do. And so it's not to have shame around that. And I think to be really clear, like if you're feeling, oh, I know, I should be doing yoga, should be meditating. It's like pausing and giving yourself grace. I mean, Lord have mercy. Like this is tough and this is hard. And it's like, is there a way in some small way that you can just pause to say, like, even just check in and ask, what is it that I need? Closing my eyes, what do I need right now? What is asking for my attention? And for me, sometimes that looks like 3 minutes of breathing, and that's all I've got to give. That's it. And I'm having to give myself grace. Like I'm not doing my long meditations that I might do otherwise. It's sort of like I've got max like 20 minutes in me right now, and that's okay. There's days that I'm not able to show up in that way and I need to nap. That's okay. But it's pausing to ask ourselves, what is it that we need, and invite ourselves to come back to what is life-giving, to come back into recharging our batteries, to come back to creating space for ourselves. And that's different for everyone. So I hope that in all of this, sort of put your blinders on, because social media will wreck you up in about 2 seconds flat, because everybody's got advice. Everybody's telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing right now. And that's not helpful. It's like, it is not helpful, whether you should be writing a book and building your business or doing nothing and resting. Either way, on both ends of the spectrum, it's like you can't win. And so I think that's where we have to slow down and tap into ourselves to say, what do I need? What do I need? Being that nurturing, mothering presence to ourselves. What is it that I need?
Yeah. And a lot of people even, I think the craziest thing ever is people that never imagined they would be homeschooling their children are homeschooling their children and working, and they're stuck in the house with, all the time.
Oh, I mean, we are being asked to show up on a level that we've never had to show up before, and stay sane and not drink every afternoon. If you do, no judgment. But you know what I mean? Like,
at least you're not driving.
yeah, you're at home, whatever. I mean, it's just like, that's where it's like gentleness. The name of the game right now to me is gentleness and releasing the pressure, because no one, and I mean no one, can go through this perfectly. No one is going to get out of this unscathed. Like there is going to be some PTSD for sure, involved. But the more, to me, that you can anchor into your practice, the less of that you're going to have to deal with after the fact. I think about people who don't have these tools and don't know. It's going to be hard. That PTSD is going to be serious. And as we know, the work of The Body Keeps the Score, is it Bessel van der Kolk? Is that right? I feel like I butcher his name because it's German or something. Yeah. But there's so much research in using yoga to treat PTSD. And so we have this unbelievable tool that in real time we can be using. And again, it may just need to be the restorative stuff. It may just need to be the breathing. It may just be the laying on the mat and letting yourself cry. And that's your yoga for the day. And just sort of releasing the expectation that you should be able to go through this in the way that you would be able to move through it before all of this. It's not happening, and we can still be resourceful and functioning and generous human beings. And I just think that the more space we can give ourselves to process through our bodies right now, the better. And we're going to get to do that. And Leanne, if it's okay with you, we'll switch into the practice of the meditation tonight. Is that all right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm assuming, has everybody, y'all have done meditation? Just raise your hand. Yes, everybody's, obviously in your classes. So there are several different types of meditations. As you guys know, there's silent meditation, there's breathing type meditations, movement meditations, guided meditations, focusing on specific pictures, all kinds of different things. And all of them have enormous benefits. I specifically teach a version of meditation that is a guided visualization. And so all that's required for the next 20 minutes, and we'll do this for 20 minutes, is that you listen to my voice and allow your imagination to take you where my voice is saying to go. And I know that for some people, visualization is really easy. You can see things, you can picture them. And for some, it's really challenging. Like there's actually specific parts of the brain, and some people have wired connections that make it easier, some are more difficult. So the first thing that I'll say before we begin is give yourself grace during this. If you can't see what I'm asking you to picture, just focus on the words that I'm saying. Even if you can like think of the words instead of the visual picture. But if you can, it's almost like you want to imagine playing it like a movie in your mind. So go back to the days when you would daydream, when you were a little kid, and you could easily access your imagination, and you want to see it like a movie screen. But the intention behind what it is that you're doing is more important than the doing. So if the intention for you is to be present and to bring in light and love and energy, that is just as going to be just as useful as if you can see everything and all the specific detail that I might be describing. So give yourself grace, give yourself a break. There's no way to do this wrong. There's no perfection in this. It really is allowing yourself to soften, to drop into it, and as best you can to see what it is that we're going to be calling in and breathing in. Does anybody have any questions before we begin? And if you do, you can unmute
yourself and feel free to ask.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so all you're going to need to do is sit in a comfortable position in a chair, on the floor. I'm a real big fan of being comfortable, living in a larger body for a long time. Whenever I meditated, I have to prop myself up against a wall, get some pillows, bring your hips up, whatever that needs to be, just listen to your body. If you want to turn your camera off, you're welcome to. If you want to be able to just really go in, I'll have my eyes closed as well, but you're welcome to just shut that off if that makes you feel better. So just find that comfortable seat. So just adjusting your body as needed. And gently allow the eyelids to soften and close the eyelids. Roll the shoulders down and back, tucking the chin slightly just to create a little bit of extra room in the back of the neck, opening up the nape of the neck. Allowing the hands to just rest in the lap. And just checking in with yourself. If you want a little grounding this evening, you can flip the palms down. Or if you feel like you want a little opening, a little expansion, you can flip them up, palms open. And let's all just take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Again, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Again, in. Exhale, mouth. And then allow your breath to go back to its natural rhythm, in and out of the nose. And just allow yourself to take your time on the inhale. So allowing the belly to expand as you fill up those lungs with air. And then slowly exhaling through the nose, bringing the navel into the spine, pressing all the air out of the lungs. So long and deep breathing. Softening the muscles of the face, relaxing the shoulders down. And as you breathe long and deep, just allowing yourself to become fully present in this moment, right here, right now. So notice what you hear. Even the distant noises. Notice what you smell. And just taking a moment to check in with yourself emotionally. Just asking yourself, how am I feeling right now? Without judgment, without needing it to be any different, how do I feel? What is that undercurrent of emotion that maybe you've been unwilling to feel or been pressing down? Just giving it a chance to be with you now. Seeing if you can name that emotion. And then notice in the body where that emotion lives. Just first, gut, response, answer. No wrong way to do it. Where is that emotional home? The belly, the heart, the throat. And then asking yourself to identify and sense the sensation of that emotion. What does it feel like in the body? Does it feel like tightness or heaviness or tingling, cool or warm? Maybe it feels expansive or light. What does it feel like physically in the body? And just observe, just notice that emotion. Just giving yourself permission in this moment to feel what you're feeling. And with each exhale, conscious breathing, seeing with the exhale, if you can invite yourself to just soften a little bit more. Almost using the breath to be able to release and relax a little deeper. With each exhale, softening and to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Releasing that resistance or the need to hold it together or to control. And just soften with each exhale. Even more, softening even more with each exhale. Yeah. Just let yourself feel it. Just for this moment. Consciously breathing in and out through the nose, using the breath, releasing a little bit more into this moment for what's here with each exhale. And just meeting whatever it is with tenderness, with gentleness, in a way of saying to yourself, I hear you. I see you. You matter. And just say that in your mind to yourself. I hear you. I see you. And then saying your name in your mind, and then saying, you matter. Just breathing into that, using the breath, inhaling slowly, exhaling slowly. And now releasing the focus on the emotion, bring your awareness and your attention to your heart, right behind the breastbone. And take a minute to breathe in and out of the heart now. So as you inhale, allowing your chest to lift and expand and widen left to right, right to left. And as you exhale, allowing the chest to soften and drop. Just taking a few breaths in and out of the heart center. Seeing if you can sense and feel your heart, your physical heart beating as you breathe into this area. Yeah, just like that. A little deeper now, breathing more intentionally into the heart. Exhaling and softening into the heart. Yeah. And now I want you to imagine a big, bright, beautiful sun right in front of you. So using your power of visualizing, just imagining the sun, golden, yellow, bright sun right in front of you. And just like you would as a kid, as you daydream and you imagine, just seeing if you can create that picture in your mind. Seeing if you can add some texture to that sun, that red hot, glowing, vibrating, pulsating energy of the sun. And physically roll the shoulders down and back, extend that heart so that it opens a little bit deeper, and begin to feel and sense the warmth of the sun on the front of your body. And feeling and imagining that glow, like rays shooting out from the sun to connect with the front of your body. Feel and sense that warmth. Basking in the glow of the sun, of source energy. And just for a moment, take in that gift of warmth and light. And now connecting with the heart of this sun, this source energy. So imagine sort of in the middle of this sun, this inner sphere that is where all of this light emanates from. This source, the heart of the sun. And I want you now to begin on the in-breath to pull in the energy from the source, from the heart of the sun into your physical heart. So you can imagine the sun in front of you, like there being a beam of light coming from the sun right into your heart center. It could be a liquid light, it could be a strand of light, a beam of light, however you want to see this, going right into your heart. So seeing that thread, that cord, that connection between the heart of the sun and your heart. And I want you now to inhale and pull in the energy of this light, the highest vibration of light. Pull it into your physical heart on the in-breath, inhaling deeply. And on the exhale, I want you to imagine that light expanding into the tissues of your physical heart. Inhaling, pulling in that breath, pulling in that light right into the heart. And as you exhale, expanding it like little particles of light that begin to seep into the valves, the arteries, into the blood. With each inhale, pulling in more of this light. And on the out breath, expanding this now out through the blood. Everywhere that this light begins to travel, visualizing and seeing this light restoring, charging up your batteries, healing, bringing your body back to total wholeness and health. So as it's circulating now through the heart, into the blood, seeing this light, like particles of light in the cells, swimming in the blood, all these little, almost like little dots of light that are pulsating with this energy from its source, moving into the veins, down through the shoulders and the arms. Seeing this light through the blood travel into the fingers, into the fingertips. Continuing to inhale and pull in as much light as you can, really breathing powerfully, intentionally, exhaling powerfully, almost like a pump and valve, pressing with pressure, that energy out of the heart, that light into the blood, up now into the neck. Everywhere this light travels, illuminating, creating healing and restoration into the eyes, the back of the eyes, up through into the brain stem. Seeing this light traveling into the heart, into the brain, all the way connected to every crevice, every crack of the brain, illuminating your thoughts, your emotions, how you're processing what's happening, seeing this light transmute any fear, any anxiety, any doubt, any dis-ease, any confusion, bringing in that clarity, bringing in that hope, that courage, that bravery, bringing in the highest vibration of thoughts into your mind, to every area of your brain, to the liquid that the brain sits in, seeing that like liquid light now, yellow, maybe a little orange, maybe white, like this soup that your brain is just soaking up like a sponge, all of this light into the brain. Breathing in powerfully that light right into the heart, seeing this now move down through the torso, into your organs, to your liver, to your kidneys, to your adrenals, your gallbladder, your stomach, your lungs, and taking a moment to breathe specifically into the lungs, pulling in all of that light, seeing it traveling through the blood into the lungs, using the breath even more powerfully now that you can hear your breath coming in and out of the nostrils, that yogic breath, charging up the lungs, seeing the lungs almost become illuminated, radiating in this light. All the bronchi, all of those what look like the roots of a tree, charged up, electric in this light. Breathing this powerful life force of your breath in and out with this light. Breathe it in, receive this energy, the highest vibration of love and light into your lungs. Really feel this breath moving and circulating through the tissues of the lungs. Allowing the energy of the sun now to move down into the intestines, through all your gut flora, the microbes, the bacteria, seeing the tissues, the nerves in the intestines illuminated now with this light. As the blood moves through, it's like this domino effect as it swirls down and down, twists and turns into the sacral bowl. Seeing it illuminated, inhaling, pulling in more of that light, even more, down into the sexual organs, into the hips, illuminating every dark corner, everything that feels dense or dark, bringing in that light, pulling it in, down into the legs, into the knees, feeling that bend in the knees, down into the calves, into the shins, all the way down into the ankles and the feet and the toes. And now sensing and feeling in your whole body the sense of light, the sense of radiance, your light connected to the heart of the sun. Really breathe that in. on every level. Letting this clear and cleanse and transmute anything that is no longer serving you so that you can call in this highest vibration of light, attuning to this source energy. And now releasing the energy of the body, but feeling and sensing that expansion, your body pulsating in this light. I want you now, as you inhale, pulling in more light from the sun right in front of you, that golden yellow light. As you exhale, I want you to imagine now expanding the aura of your light out into the room that you're in. So almost using the out breath to press it out, expand it out. Seeing if you can use this breath to reach out into your home, that everywhere you put your focus, the light goes. So imagining your home, imagining the light going into your neighborhood, expanding quickly the light into your city, every neighborhood, into the state of Tennessee. Inhaling through, exhaling out. Expanding this light now, seeing it begin to expand into our country, to the other states, into the hospitals. Using the exhale to almost send that light to the first responders, to the people that are scared and afraid, feeling hopeless. Using your energy to expand your light and send that gift and that blessing across our country. To all the children, to all the elderly, to all the mothers and the fathers, sending this light out, 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 using your breath intentionally, sending it out now to the other parts of the world, to the other countries, seeing it expand across the oceans to the other continents, touching and covering every square inch, every creature, every plant, every hospital, every home with this light. Bring in more light, bring it in, breathe it in, breathe it in, exhaling, expand, seeing the entire globe, the earth being covered now in a blanket of light. Everything pulsating and illuminated in this light. Taking in a couple more breaths, inhaling powerfully, expanding it all the way, circling the entire globe. Again, inhaling, pulling it in, expanding it out. Really expand, really see this in your mind. Intentionally send it out as a blessing to the whole world. One more breath like this. In, pulling it in. Exhaling, expand and bless, expand and bless. And now coming back into this moment. And just bring your left hand to the heart center, allowing your right hand to be on top of the left, connecting with the heart again. And just sensing and feeling this light, your light. And just taking a moment to pause and offer gratitude for your breath. Repeating in your mind, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, 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 yes to the light. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Even as you sit there, put a smile on your face, curl up the corners of the mouth, connecting with the heart, practicing this feeling of gratitude, even now. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Feeling that sense of light and radiance around, in, on your body. Continuing to smile and just internally saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Feeling this energy you've cultivated and you've created. Just sensing, just being. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully through the mouth. One more in. Exhale through the mouth. And then bringing the hands together in prayer position at the heart center. And we'll just close this meditation practice with the prayer of love, peace, and light. And really see what you're saying, see the words, see the power in them, feel what you feel. And repeating out loud, or if it's more comfortable, you can just do it silently in your mind after me with each phrase. Love before me. Love behind me. Love at my left. Love at my right. Love above me. Love below me. Love unto me. Love in my surroundings. Love to the universe. Love to all. Peace before me. Peace behind me. Peace at my left. Peace at my right. Peace above me. Peace below me. Peace unto me. Peace in my surroundings. Peace to the universe. Peace to all. Light before me. Light behind me. Light at my left. Light at my right. Light above me. Light below me. Light unto me. Light in my surroundings. Light to the universe. Light to all. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Hold the breath at the top. Scoop in a little bit more air. A little bit more. A little more. Stretch those lungs. More. Exhale through the mouth. Bow the head. Thank you. Thank you. And as you're ready, you can come back into your space and gently open your eyes. Thank you guys so much.
That was so good, Mary.
Good.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for Mary?
Or if you feel free, you can share your experience, anything that was hard or lovely.
Mary, my name is Shane. I just wanted to say thank you. That was lovely.
You're so welcome.
And just very powerful.
Good. Yeah, it's amazing. Valerie, you said your whole body was pulsating. It's amazing, like what that does when you pull in that vibration. It's like everything becomes palpable. It's like vibrating. Does anybody feel a little sense of feeling high, like the natural high? Anyone? Yeah, a few of y'all. Yeah, it's kind of cool to feel that. It's like, wow, our breath is so powerful, bringing in that level of oxygen into our blood. It's like, who needs drugs?
Exactly.
Does anybody else want to share? Yeah, Carla, me too. Yeah, love it. Well, Leanne, I'll send it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary. It was an honor to have you here with us. So thank you for taking time to spend it with us and for that beautiful meditation. We will put this in the members area so you guys can check back in if you want to dive in again. And if you want to get in touch with Mary, you can reach her at maryhyatt.com and Instagram, Mary G. Hyatt, and all the good places.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. And if I have other guided meditations on my YouTube channel, so if you want more guided meditations, I think I've got like 35 up there. So and they're all free. So feel free to go grab some of those if you want to do more of this. They're up on the YouTube channel.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming to connect and to spend some time with us. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. And maybe we'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Bright and early for yoga. If not 7, then maybe 9:30 or 4:30. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.